Tulane was one of the biggest surprises in all of college football last year. The Green Wave went 12-2, won the American, and then had a stunning comeback over USC in the Cotton Bowl to clinch a top 10 finish. No one saw that coming at the beginning of the year. But now, the Green Wave are not going to fly under the radar. Now they are the kings of the American, and even more so, now that some of the other top contenders like UCF and Cincinnati and Houston have all left the conference. So will Tulane repeat and go back to another New Year's Six bowl game, or one of the new conference members come in and snatch the title out from under them? The Green Wave guys come in at number 21 in our way too early top 25, and today we are taking a look at their schedule for this upcoming college football season. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. We're so glad that you could join us today. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, guys. If you love football, this is the place for you, because here at the Gridiron Expert, football never dies, it never ends. Non-stop content, 24/7, 365. We've got schedule previews coming out for the next month or so. We've got Super Bowl content all next week. We've got predictions for every single college football team coming out in June, and plenty more all in between. This is the place for you if you love college football. Make sure to hit that notification so you don't miss any videos. Subscribe to us and spread the word so we can grow this GE Nation. So you take a look at Tulane, guys. Again, we talked about how great they were in 2022, how insane of a job Willie Fritz has done with the Green Wave. And you look at who's coming back. Their quarterback, Michael Pratt, returns. That's huge. You need your quarterback. So he's going to be back as one of the best quarterbacks in the conference. But they do lose some key playmakers. They lose their running back in Tyjae Spears. They lose Deuce Watts. They lose Shea Wyatt. So you lose some of your top receivers, you lose your running back. Tulane's offense is going to look a little bit different, but you do have a veteran under center. They're expecting about 6 starters back on offense, roughly 6 back on defense. And despite the losses of so many offensively, they're still going to be the American favorite. Why? We'll take a look at their schedule. Again, Tulane, like many of the other American teams, do not have their complete schedule out yet, right? We do not know the dates for all of their games. We know a couple in September, the rest are still up for debate, but we wanted to go ahead and talk about this now. So Tulane's kind of still up in the air, but we know who they're going to play, with the exception of maybe one non-conference game that really won't matter too much when it comes to the standings. So here's what we know, and here's what we're looking at. Open the year against South Alabama, a team that was really, really good in the Sun Belt last year. Kane Womack did a phenomenal job. They got torched by Western Kentucky in their bowl game. So interesting home matchup there. Tulane in week 2, they host Ole Miss. They get to host the Rebels out of the SEC. Now let's keep in mind, this is a Tulane team that went on the road and beat Kansas State last year, a Kansas State team that ended up winning the Big 12 over TCU. They beat USC in the Cotton Bowl. They beat Cincinnati on the road. This is a good Tulane team, and yes, a lot's changed, but they're not afraid of the big dogs. Ole Miss, great start last year, bad finish. How are they going to start this year? That's a very intriguing game, guys, and a game that could be a top 25 matchup to start the year. Do not sleep on Tulane and Ole Miss, and don't be shocked if Tulane pulls off that upset. So Ole Miss in week 2 at home was very, very intriguing. The road game at Southern Miss is intriguing as well, because they lost to Southern Miss last year 27-24. The Green Wave dominated in that game, vastly dominated in terms of the yardage in that game over Southern Miss, and yet somehow found a way to lose for one of their 2 losses of the year. It was really, really surprising when it was all said and done. So now they're going to go on the road to Southern Miss, who won their bowl game over Rice. Kind of something to monitor there. Will Tulane fall flat again? Will they get their revenge over the Golden Eagles? It's going to kind of feel like a must-win, especially after the Ole Miss game. Either you're high off the win over the Rebels, or you're down on yourself after a close loss. Either way, it's kind of a trap game for Tulane there. They can't afford a loss, even though it is in the non-conference. You take a look at the conference slate. It's really interesting. It's very, very interesting. At ECU, at Florida Atlantic, at Memphis, at Rice, and then the 4 home games. So you look at the road games, guys. Tulane beat ECU by 15 last year. Pirates lose. Holton Nailers lose a handful from a very good team that won their bowl game. So while it still won't be easy to play on the road, ECU needs to replace a lot of key members from that team. Florida Atlantic is a new member. Florida Atlantic, Rice, North Texas, UTSA, UAB, all new members to the American Conference coming over from the Conference USA. So again, you lose Cincinnati, you lose UCF, you lose Houston, all off to the Big 12. Huge, huge boost for Tulane who was able to navigate those teams last year. They don't even have to play them this year. And some of these Conference USA foes, not nearly as daunting as some of the other ones that we just mentioned. So ECU, at Florida Atlantic's brand new. At Memphis, they won that game by 10. At Rice, got dominated by Southern Miss in their bowl game and finished with a losing record. They were 5-7 going into that game anyways. Got in there because of APR. You look at the home games. Tulsa, they beat them by 14 last year. Then 3 straight home games, again, not necessarily in order, against new foes out of the Conference USA, North Texas, UTSA, and UAB. The most interesting of those 3, of course, is the game against the Roadrunners, who won the Conference USA last year and returned their star quarterback in Frank Harris and Zachary Franklin. Harris throwing for over 4,000 yards, Franklin over 1,100 reception yards. That's the game to watch. So you look at Tulane's schedule, guys. Again, we don't know the exact days. We can't sit there and say, oh, hey, here's a 3-game stretch you need to keep your eye on. But we can tell you certain games you need to keep your eye on. Ole Miss is one of them. Southern Miss is the other. We talked about those two and the importance of them. Don't sleep on Tulane possibly upsetting the Rebels. Southern Miss is a major trap game because either they're high and they're going to fall flat, or they're down and they're not going to show up. One or the other, got to watch out for Southern Miss, who could take another big step in year 3 under Will Hall. Then out of conference play, who are the 2 you need to watch out for the most? Memphis is the first one. On the road at Memphis, only beat them by 10. They're going to have the offense to hang with Tulane, no doubt about it. The problem for Memphis is their defense, although they did get a big win over Utah State in their bowl game. So Memphis on the road, need to watch out for them. And then, of course, the home game against UTSA. That's probably the most intriguing game there against the Roadrunners. Reigning AAC champ, reigning Conference USA champ, maybe a preview of the American Championship this year. Both teams have the offense to hang with each other. Both teams have the talent and the defense to hang with each other, because Tulane's defense vastly underrated in 2022. Luckily, the Green Wave get to host that game, but they may have to go on the road in the championship game, depending on how UTSA fares and depending on how Tulane fares in the other conference games. But that's the one to watch out for. So 2 of their non-conference games, very important, very intriguing. 2 major conference games that are going to begin to kind of keep your eye on, but as of now, for many, Tulane will be the favorite to win the American again. 5 new teams joining the conference. Only really one that seems like a legitimate contender in year 1. That's UTSA, and the Green Wave get to host them. So let us know what you guys think, guys. Will Tulane repeat as American champions? Will they go to another New Year's 6 bowl game? What's in store for the Green Wave? Was last year a fluke? Or are they going to be the next Group of 5 power? We want to hear from you. Leave your comments down below and get ready for Super Bowl coverage. This was the video on Friday. On Monday, we start week-long Super Bowl coverage, and then schedule previews will begin after the Super Bowl again. We'll pick up with our 20th ranked team and go all the way to number 1 the week after the Super Bowl. Stay tuned for that. But of course, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here on YouTube. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Check out everything down in the description below. Again, we have so much exclusive content there for you guys to help you get through this offseason, because here at the Gridiron Expert, football never dies. This is the place for you. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our content going forward, because it's there every single day. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.